Now we'll come back again to Salesforce. Start with the validation rules. Now, what is validation rule? This is very important concept in Salesforce. What exactly the validation rules do? So let's go to our org. Okay, let's go to our org. Let's say contact. Whenever we try to create a new contact, suppose, and if I'm giving any salutations, suppose John, and apart from it, okay, and if I try to save it, what error I'm getting? Like you need to add the name, last name, right? Because it's mandatory to add a name. Without adding the last name, you can't save a contact. So this is like some notifications which I'm getting, but this is not coming from validations. This is basically they have made this field required. But if I want, suppose in this contact only, if I want like any new record should not be made in the contact until and unless a phone number has been saved in the record. This is my requirement that a new contact record should not be made until and unless there is a phone contact in the record. But I don't want that to be done with the help of the required validation, which we used to set up in the fields that it should be required. I don't want that. I want to do that with the help of my validation rule. So how to perform that validation rules? Let's do together. So what exactly the validation rules is? Basically, validation rules verify that the data a user enters in a record meets the standards you specify before the user can save the record. Okay, this is very important. User can save the record. What does it mean? Suppose means, as I mentioned you, like in the account, in the contact, if I am creating a contact, I want a validation like that so that a new contact should not be saved until there is a no phone number available in the contact. So this validation rules is basically that only which meets the standards you specify before the user can save the record. Here, till now, I have not saved any record. So before saving any record, all those validations, all those rules, all those criterias, or all those conditions which I have put in that particular object to create a record, if that has not been satisfied, the record can't be saved. So record can be saved only when the conditions has been satisfied. So that is basically what exactly the validation rules is all about. So first, let's create a validation rule on the contact object. Now, if you want to create a validation rule, we need to go to setup. If you do any admin task, you need to go to setup. Now in which, okay, we are creating validation rule on which object? Contact, right? Any validation rules can be created on the objects only. So we are creating the validation rule on the contact. So let's go to object manager, select contact. Here we have the option called validation rules in that particular object. So just go to validation rules. Okay, now till now we don't have any validation rules on contact objects. Let's create a new one. Let's give some rule name like phone number is mandatory. Phone number is mandatory. Okay, active is there. Now I want to create a validation rule here as well. So what is this? This is the space where I will write my rule, what exactly I want. These are again all those functions which we have seen in the formula fields and insert field and insert operator. Now what is my requirement? My requirement is that in the contact, the phone number should not be blank. If it is blank, then the record can't be saved. So there is an option, there is a function in Salesforce which called as is blank. What does it mean? Is blank returns, it checks whether an expression is blank or not. So, and it returns true or false. So basically it checks whether the expression, whatever field I am using, is blank or not. So let's say if I'll select this, see here, this is the syntax. It is showing me is blank, expression should be here inside the is blank, expression should become. So when we select expression, we need to insert which field? Phone number. So let's select phone. Yeah, and insert it. Check the syntax. No errors. Okay. What does it mean here? What we write? The phone number is blank will return whether the phone number is blank or not. So in the validation rule, what we say, if this formula expression is true, then suppose what is true means if the phone is blank, right? If the phone is blank, then here we have an option called error message. So what we can write in the error message? Error message means someone is trying to add the contact records without giving the phone number. So I don't want that. I want, for that only we are writing the validation. So for that, for some error message should be given to the user that you can't add a record without giving the phone number. So what error message we can say, like, please enter phone number. This error message we can display so that the user came to know that they can't add a record, they can't save a record without adding a phone number, right? Okay, there we have an option where to show this error message. So we have two options, top of the page or field. Top of the page in the sense, whenever you create and when you are trying to save it, in the top, you will see the error, or in the at the field level. So let's select the field. And when we select the field, which field should be shown? It's phone. Right. So we'll select phone and then save it. We have created a validation rule for this. Now let's check it out. Let's go to contact. Okay, let's create a new contact. Give any name, Jay Singh, and try to save it. See, they will not allow to save it because it is showing me, please enter phone number. So we can manage all these things with the help of our validation rules, because we have put the validation on it. Like this, we can manage the validation. Okay, one more validation I will show you. Let's say, let's go to account object. Okay, in the account object, we have a field called type. See, we have a field name, type, and industry. Okay, so I want, if the type is prospect, I want what type of validation. If the type is prospect in the account field, then I don't want the user to select, suppose, to select the industry as, I don't want the user to select the industry as agriculture, like we have agriculture. Means I don't want, if the type is prospect, I don't want the user to select the industry as agriculture. I stop that. I stop the user from selecting industry as agriculture if the type is prospect. So I want this validation to be done in the account object. So how to do this? Let's go again back to our setup. We are doing the validation on which object? Account object. Okay, so just go to object manager, account object, go to the validation rules, create new. Name should be given as type. You should give the name so that you can able to identify. These names we are given for our admin people, for our developers only, not for the users. This is for our purpose. So we can able to identify in this rule what exactly is happening. So type prospect. Should not or just say industry should not agriculture. Okay, we are not allowing this. Type prospect, not agriculture, like that. Any name you can give. So you can give the description over here. Okay, now we need to write the formula. We need to write the validation, like if this validation is true, means here if this is true, then the error will show. If this is not true, then the error will not show. What is our validation? What is our requirement? I don't want in the object field, account object, I don't want the type should be prospect, then the industry should not be agriculture. I don't want these two happens together. So what type of field type is? Type is pick list field. So here we have a function over here which is called as isPick. isPick value. What it shows? It checks whether the value of a pick list field is equal to a string. Whatever string we are giving inside this function, it will checks whether the value of that pick list field is that or not. So for pick list, we mostly use this isPickVal function. So let's insert it. See the syntax, it is showing me first the pick list field. Which pick list field we want? Type. So select type. Let's say type and insert. And what exactly we want? Type should not be prospect. Now this spell should be the same as we have in the, right? Spelling should be the same, otherwise the validation will not work. So I think it's same, prospect. So isPick value, if the type is prospect, then what else? Here we have the AND function as well. If we want to concatenate two logics, then we can use the AND function. So we can write AND. Again, what else we want to check? If the industry is agriculture, industry is also again a pick list field. So select isPick. or we can just write it also, is pick, select the field, and what field we are asking, industry. So go to industry. Where is industry? Insert. Now this industry should not be what? Agriculture. Let's say agriculture. Spell should be same, agriculture. Okay, let's check the syntax. Why we are getting the error? Extra and. You can also write inside the and. Okay, like this also we can write it. Now, if this is true, so what error should be given? Please choose the other value. We can say please, means if both are same, if one is prospect and other is agriculture, we can say please choose other value for industry. Or you can also write please choose other value. But my requirement is if the type is prospect, then industry should not be agriculture. So we have to write this error message only. This should be written according to our requirement. Okay, my requirement is type should be prospect, then industry should not be agriculture. So we have to write please choose the other value for industry. And this I want to write in the field. So which field I want to write it? Let's say industry. Select industry and save it. So our validation exists. Now let's go to account. Now in the account, if I select type as prospect, and industry as agriculture, and if I try to save it, they will not allow me. Why? Because we have given the validation. So like that, according to your requirement, you can perform the validation rules. Okay. This is what exactly the validation is. So what does the validation says? A validation rules can contain a formula or expressions that evaluates the data in one or more fields and returns a value true or false, which we have seen. When we force the user to modify the data before pushing into the database. Yeah. Question this may ask in interview, like they will ask, are we actually adding the data? Means validation, when the validation rule execute, before the data is saved or after the data is saved. So validation would be done before adding the data into the database. Okay, before saving the record only we have to validate now. So validation would be performed before saving the record. Now use validation rules to maintain the user input or system records. User input data which we are giving it and system modified records is like whatever. So this is the basic concepts of validation rules. Now let's go back to two important topics which I need to discuss. First is process builder and the other one is workbench. So let's go to process builder. Now, what does the process builder means in the Salesforce? Yesterday we have seen workflow, right? What is workflow? Workflow is also the automation in which we can also perform 4 different actions like email, sending the emails, then updating the new records, creating any new task, or outbound messages. So only these 4 activities will be performed by workflow. But there is a more modified version of workflow, which is called as process builder in Salesforce. What it do? Process builder is also used to automate more complex business process just by a few point and click actions. It provides a user-friendly representation for building a process in the Salesforce, and its process builder is actually a next version of the workflow. We can only perform 4 tasks, but process builder we can perform, I think, 8 tasks. So it's a more modified version of workflow tool. You can implement all the workflow actions except the outbound messages process using the process builder. Except outbound, we can perform everything using process builder. Also, process builder provides some additional features to accomplish complex flows. So what are the things we can do with the process builder? We can create a record. Like if we met some criteria and if we want to create a record. Remember, we have done it yesterday with the workflow. Now that also we can do with the process builder. If we want to, if our conditions are met, and then we want, if the condition is met, we want to create a record, that it's possible with the help of process builder. If you want to update any related record, that is also possible. If we want to do some quick actions, that is also possible. Launch a flow, send an email, post to chatter, submit for approval, and apex coding. Coding task also performed with the help of process builder. So process builder is an important concept in Salesforce. Okay. So let's create a process builder. Now, for which scenario I'm creating a process builder? Suppose I want, like, I have an opportunity. Suppose an opportunity, let's say any opportunity. If the stage is closed one, okay, I want to create some automation. I want to create a process builder. What I want to create? I want to create it for if the stage is closed one, and if the amount is more than 10,000. I'm creating a process builder over here. For which scenario? In opportunity. If my first scenario is if stage is closed one, and the second scenario is amount is greater than 10,000, suppose. Okay, so if the stage is closed one and the amount is greater than 10,000, then I want my process builder to create a new record, a new order. Suppose, let's say which record. Okay, a new order is also an object in our system. So let's say if this condition met, then I want to create a new order record. Okay, this is my condition for the process builder. That if the stage is closed one and amount is more than 10,000, then we will create a new order record like that. So how we can do that? So let's go to our org. Let's go to setup again. Whenever you want to create anything, you have to go to setup, process builder, type, and click on new. Yeah, process builders nowadays is outdated. Means I think few upcoming days they will going to remove the process builder and everything is going to move to flows. So in the flows we can perform now everything which we are doing with workflow, process builders, approvals, and everything that we can do with the help of flows. So they are going to remove the process builder, but it's good to learn how to do it because it will also help you in flows. So let's create a new process builder. It is also showing here that in the future of local automation. So we'll continue with the process builder. Let's give some name to process builder. Let's say opportunity stage 1. You can give any description if you want. Okay, here the process starts when the record changes. We have three options, right? A record changes, platform event message is received, or invoked by another process. So we are doing some changes in the records. What changes? If the stage is 1 and the amount is more than 10,000, then we are creating a record. So we are doing some editing changes in the record. So the process starts when the record changes. So let's save it. Now this is how the process builders look like. Okay, so how to create it now? Now this is how the process builder looks like. So we need to first add the object. Add the object means in which object we want to create a process builder, right? For validation also we need to select an object. For everything we should know that on which object we are performing the task. So we are performing the task on which object? Opportunity, right? So let's select opportunity. Now here they're asking when a record is created, then only you want the process, or when a record is created as well as edited. So here we will select the second option. We don't want only when the creation happens. We also want if there is some additions, like after creation, if they changes the stages or if they change the amount, then also we want that to be happened. So let's save it. We have select the object. Now we need to add the criteria. So what is our criteria? Let's give some criteria name. Let's say if this criteria name is for developers only who are able to understand what exactly the criteria is just by seeing the process builder. This is not for something related to end users. We are giving it for only for our sake. So let's say stage closed 1 and amount greater than 10K. Stage is closed 1 and amount greater than 10K. This is our criteria. Now here we have three options. Conditions are met, formula, if you have any formula, or no criteria, just execute the actions. But we have the conditions, right? So we will select the first one, conditions are met. Now what is the condition? The first condition is that stage should be 1. So let's select the stage field, opportunity, stage. This should be equals to pick list field, closed 1. Stage is a pick list, which should be equals to closed 1. Okay. Another condition, what is our another condition? Amount. Let's select amount. So this amount should be greater than 10,000. We have the condition like that only. Okay, so if the amount is greater than 10,000 and if the opportunity stage is equal to closed 1, then only our process builder should execute. So we have selected the condition as well. Now here we are asking all the conditions you want or any of you want. I want both. So I will select the AND option. We have some advanced thing as well. They will say, do you want to execute the actions only when specified changes are made to the records? So no, just save it. Okay, so we have selected the object. We have given the criteria on which the process builder should work. Now, if the criteria is met, what action we want to perform? So what action we have decided? If the criteria is met, then a new record, order record should get created. So let's go to add action. What action we want? Create a record. See, there we have so much actions. In workflow, we have only 4. Email alerts, and update the records and task and outbound message. But here in the process builder, we have n number of actions we can perform. So let's create a record. Whose records we are creating? Create which object record we are creating? Order. So create order record. Okay. Now we have to select the order type. Here we need to give the order type, record type as order. Record type means whose record we are creating. So record type should be specified. So when we give an order, order is an object. Okay, so when we given the order, they are asking me to create this record. These fields need to be filled. Okay, so these are the mandatory fields in the order. When we go to order, if you can see over here, see, when we create an order, these fields we need to set up. So we need to give those fields in process builder. So let's go back to our process builder. Now, what is the order start date? What is the order start date we can give? So let's say if we will select, suppose we can use the formula for this. We can give any date also, but if we want today's date, suppose I want the start date should be today. So we can use some today function, which we have. So you can write like this, today. This will return what? Today's date. So we can use the simple formula to give that date, which is today. So just use this formula, and then the status, we have pick list, field, reference, and formula. Suppose status is pick list, and we can give anything like draft, any pick list we can use, and the account ID. Now this account ID we need to select. What account ID we are creating? Which record? Order record. Why? Because of the opportunity. If there is some changes in the opportunity, then we are creating the order record. So the account ID of the order should also map with the opportunity, right? So here we can map with the help of field reference. We have 4 options. How we can map? How we can map my orders account ID with the opportunity? So we can map with the help of field reference. We can give the field reference. Which field reference? Opportunities, account ID. Through which we can give the reference and through which we can create the order record. So let's save it. Okay. So we have selected the object. We have selected the criteria on which this process builder should work. If this criteria met, then this action is performed. What action? Here you can see also create order record. This action will perform. Now just activate it. Confirm. Okay, so we have activated our process builder. Now let's see whether it works or not. So go to our Salesforce. What we are doing? Go to opportunity. And if the opportunity, let's select any opportunity. Okay, let's create a new one. Now let's do this. It's a closed one. Okay, if the opportunity stage let's say opportunity stage is closed one. Okay, and amount is already greater than 10,000. So if opportunity stage is closed one and amount is greater than 10,000, when we save it, then what error we are getting? Missing field. Which field I have missed? Opportunity name. Let's say if it is changed to closed one. Okay. I need to select the account. Okay, let's create the new opportunity. Let's say next and test or say process builder demo. Post one. If I give it to 50,000 something and save it. Okay, because of the process builder, they are not allowing me to save it. What is wrong? If I will select any of the account name, it should work. Salesforce stage one process failed. Select, you can look up the exception. I guess there is some more process builders happening in the order. That's why they are not allowing me to create the order record for that opportunity. So let me do one thing. I'll go back to the setup and deactivate this opportunity. Okay, let me create a simple opportunity for, let's say, single record. Let me go to setup. If I try to create now new opportunity, will it allow me? Test one of the college 30th stage would be gain closed one and just save it. Okay, I think that process is failing because maybe I think in the order object something was not clear. So let me do one thing. I'll show you one more process builder quickly. Let me go to setup. Okay, I will show you one more process builder. Like in opportunity, if I want the amount should be greater than 10,000, then there is some description field that should get updated. Okay, means in the opportunity, do we have any description field right now? Yeah, we have a description field. Okay, so my condition is if the amount is greater than something 10,000, then this field should get updated. This is my condition. Earlier, I was creating a record, but because of the order, I think there is some process builder which is already happening over there. So it's not allowing me. So let's take some different condition. If the amount is greater than 10,000, then description field should edit. So let's go back to setup where it is. And let's go to opportunity. Let's go back to setup. Let's click process builder.
Phone number is not selected.
Where?
Previously.
When I'm creating that opportunity. No, that we have done on contact.
Some record field is needed.
Just a minute. Let me again try to do it. Suppose I'll create a new. It is showing me some error for the account.
Yeah, record field, this asking.
Okay, if I'll change again to closed one and save it. You can't save this record because the process failed.
Record field missing, select the account.
Account is a required field. Let's say H. Okay. I think, okay, some validation is there on the account name. Okay, so if this process works, then for this time means 10:45 p.m., I have just modified this opportunity. So for this time only, an order should get created now then. Let's see. See here. Yeah, this order is created just now when I have, means the process builder is working. When I have changed the fields in the opportunity, so I have written the process builder. If the amount is more than 10,000 and the stage is closed one, I guess we have done the validation of the account name. So account name should also be given. So when this has been done, then an order record should be created. So here we have created a order record with the same date and time. So like that, we can do the process builder on the workflows. This is, we have given the one condition. Okay, so we can give the multiple condition as well in the process builder. How we can give that? Let's create one more process builder. I will show you one multiple condition one. Let's say update update description field in opportunity. Okay, and select record changes, save it. Now let's say if I will add an object, what my condition is, if in opportunity, if the amount is more than 10,000, then description field should get updated. Field should be updated. Earlier we have created a field, now we are updating a field. So let's select an object quickly. Is opportunity. When a record is created and edited both, save it. Select the criteria. When amount greater than 10,000, description description update. Okay, now what is the field we have to select? Amount. Let's say amount is greater than 10,000. If amount is greater than 10,000, all the conditions are met, then what action we will perform? We will going to update the record. Earlier we have created, now we will update the record. If we will update the record, let's give the API name, description, update. Now here they are asking select a record to update. So select the opportunity record that started a process or select a related record related to the opportunity. So let's select the first one. And set a new value for the records. So we are updating which field? Description field. And we are giving the value. So we have all 4 options. Let's say what value we can give. We can give record update due to process builder. Okay, and save it. Activate. Done. So let's go back to our opportunity. And if I say, let's create a new opportunity. There's something, account name, let's say this, close date, let's given something else, and amount I will give 40,000. Stage would be not closed one, prospecting. Okay, and that's it. So when we save it, then I hope that should work. See, the description field got updated with the message we have given, record update due to process builder. So we have updated the record. Now, if I want amount should be between 5,000 to 10,000. So what we can do, we can give the multiple action here. So, but I want to do some editing on this process builder. Is it possible? Right now, it's not possible. So for that, what I need to do, I need to clone it. Okay. Version of, they are asking, it's a version of same process or a new process. It's the same process. You can just give the version name if you want. And you can just say 1 or anything like that, and try to save it. So once I will clone it, then only I can able to do some editing. Before cloning, I can't do the editing on the existing process builder. So let's say I'll add another criteria in which they're asking which field, amount field should be between, amount field should be greater than 5,000 and amount field should be less than 10,000. Okay, and here all the conditions are meeting. So what action we need to perform? Let's save it. Oh, I have not given criteria name. Amount between 5,000 to 10,000 and save it. So if this met, then again what action? Action would be the same. Update the record. Update. Action you can define according to you. I'm just putting it same. Update description record. And the record type would be, let's say first only. And let's give the description. Updated second condition. Any message you want to give. Okay, and save it. So like that, you can add more conditions, like suppose 5,000 to 10,000. If you want to add one more less than 5,000, it will also work. So let's activate it and just create one scenario for opportunity. Let's go to opportunity and edit the amount as 4,000. No, 6,000. Okay, let's save it. So in that case, we got the message, updated second condition. So like that, according to our conditions, we can give multiple conditions in a process builder. That's why process builder is very effective, because here we are performing multiple conditions in single process builder, and we are performing different actions, because you want for this, here you want the operation, you want here in this condition, you want the creation of a record, or you want some other actions, you want to send an email, anything. So you can just give your conditions, you can give your actions, and like that we can perform in the process builder. So this is the basic concept of process builder. Okay, now let me go back to one important concept which has been left. I hope everyone is understanding what exactly I'm trying to convey. Okay, we have learned validation rules, process builders, reports, dashboards. Okay, now if this is in suppose here we are dealing with less number of records, right? Like in the hotel management app, we have created hardly 10 or 15 records, and then we are dealing with that. But in the real life scenario, in a real life projects, there are things in which if you are in a project which has been starting from scratch or anything, and if you want to add the data, thousands and thousands of data. Suppose if you want to add the account data, here we are showing hardly few records of account. But according to the client's requirement, if you want more accounts that to be created, that to be generated in the system, that to be stored in the system. So you can't do it, go by manually one by one and creating the new, putting all the fields, because that scenario is not possible, right? In the real life scenario, because there are thousands, like if 50,000 records are there. If you want to enter the 50,000 records, so that you can't do it manually. Okay. So in that, concepts came in Salesforce known as workbench. Workbench or data loader. What does that do in workbench? We can actually, workbench is actually a tool, different application tool that we interact with our Salesforce. And with the help of workbench, we are able to load n number of records in the system. Not only insert, we can update also, because sometimes what happens, you have 50,000 records and you want to do updation on 10,000 records. So you can't do it manually. So that is possible with the help of workbench. So workbench is managing to insert thousands of records, updating thousands of records, deleting thousands of records. All those things has been managed by workbench. A workbench is basically a different application which is interacting with the Salesforce. So what we need to do, we just need to log in into workbench. Then we can upload the data in the Salesforce with the help of the workbench. We can also do it with the help of data loader, but in my system, there is no data loader was not present. So I can't show you with the help of data loader. I can show you with the help of workbench. So what we need to do, we need to log in, then we can update the data, we can insert, delete, all those actions we can perform. And we need to map. Okay, let's say we have the account object. Okay, and what are the fields which are mandatory in account objects? Only the account name, I guess. Okay, nothing, no other field is mandatory. So let's go to our Excel. Let's create a new Excel. What I want, and my screen is stopped. Okay, what I want, that I want to enter the records of, let's say, account object records I want to enter in the system. So first we need to create those records in the Excel. Suppose here I have given account name. Okay, account name is mandatory, so that I need to give. So here I've given account name. Then second field, what field I can give? Let's say industry. I can give industry. So I want to insert the record of account whose fields are account name, industry, and let's say the third option which I can give is phone number. Okay, so let's say phone number. These fields. So what is the account name? Let's say account 1. Account 2, account 3, and account 4. These 4 records. Currently, I'm using 4 records only, but we can if there are thousands in real life scenario, we have thousands and thousands of records which need to fetch in the system. So I'm showing you how to do that. So we are just adding 4 accounts. Industry. Let's say take some industries. What type of industries are available? agriculture, apparel, banking. So let's say it's agriculture, apparel, banking. Banking, and take another one, let's say agriculture only. Okay, so these are the fields of the industry. Now phone number. Phone number, I can give anything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9, 10. Like that. Okay, so these are the records of the account object which I need to insert in my Salesforce system. So I will do that with the help of Workbench. So first I need to save this file. So whenever you're saving this file, we need to save it in the CSV format. Then only the system will read it. If it is not in the CSV format, it will not be able to read it. Okay. Account insert data. Let's say like this. And we have saved it. So this file I need to enter. Okay. So how to go to Workbench? So let's go here. Let's go Workbench. Log in into the Workbench account. I hope it works. Sometimes the network was not there. So let's see. Oh, it's an application error. Real-time scenarios. Okay. Data loader actually is not present in my system, so it's not possible for me to show the data loader. It's just similar to Workbench only. You just need to install the data loader and do the same process as we are doing in Workbench. There is only the lookup field difference. Otherwise, it will be same in the data loader. Okay. So let's go to our Workbench. Now here you can see the environment. We are using you can use any, means if your project, you can use the sandbox also to insert the data, which we have different sandboxes, but here we are doing directly in our production org. This is the API version. So here also, this is, we need to log in the Workbench with our Salesforce account, which account we are using it. So just log in with Salesforce. I think my login is already there. But if you log in first time, then you need to log in with your Salesforce account. Okay. So yeah. Now here you can see like we have actions which we need to perform, or here we have the info, standard and custom objects and everything, queries, SQL queries also we can do it. And here in the data, we have these options. So with the help of Workbench, what we can do, we can insert the new records, we can update whatever records are existing in the system, we can update also, we can upsert also. Upsert means creates the new records or updates the existing records based on the unique external ID. Okay, so this is what we can do in the upsert. Then we can also do the record or delete, but it will, if you delete it, it will not delete permanently. It will move records to the recycle bin, And for after some particular period of time, then it got deleted. So if you want to retrieve it back, that also you can do it. Then undelete also, this is what I'm telling you. Restore the records from the recycle bin, that also you can perform. And the purge option, permanently delete the records from the recycle bin, that is the purge. We hardly do it. I haven't done yet, but you can also perform all these tasks. Then we have the migrations. If you want to deploy, retrieves, then utilities like REST Explorers, Apex Execute, you want to password management and everything. So let's go to data and insert. Click on insert. We are what we are doing, inserting. We are inserting the data. Okay. So now here they are asking me to select the object type. Which object we are inserting the data? Account, right? So we need to select the account. Let's select account and choose the file. Which file? Which we have created. Sometimes what happens, customers give you thousands of records. Customers will provide you the files and they want to perform these tasks. They want the admins to perform these updation, deletion, and all these tasks in your system. So then you can use the customer files, or you can make the files editable according to your mapping, and then you can insert. So let's select the file. It should be CSV format, otherwise it will not be shown. And go to next. Okay. Now, what is this? What is this? This is basically, these are the fields of the account object as per the Salesforce, right? As per the Salesforce. These are the fields as per the Salesforce names, whatever the names they have given in the Salesforce. And these are our CSV fields. It's also given here over. This is the field and these are the CSV fields. CSV field means the field which we have created in our Excel. So what are the three fields we have done? We have the account name. So where is the account name? Account name in the Salesforce is in the form of name. So we have to map it. We have to map the Salesforce naming and our CSV naming. Let's say account name. Otherwise, how the system came to know that on which field the record need to be inserted. Okay, so this mapping is very important. Currently, we are dealing with only 3 fields, but sometimes we have to deal with n number of fields. So we need to map them. Also, auto mapping is also done. So that also we can perform. Mostly in data loader, we can do the auto mapping. Okay, so we have mapped account name. We have mapped industry. What else fields we have done? Account name, map, and the last one is phone number. So let's say this is the phone number. Okay, so phone is the field which has been in the Salesforce and phone number is which we have used in our CSV. So we have mapped it. Okay, now go to map fields as well. Again, I'm getting there. Okay. Let's again try to. I don't know, I'm getting the error for this workbench. But after mapping, you just need to click on the insert. And when we do that, we will get a report like this. This is the initial page. We get a report in which it has been shown that these are the records has been inserted in the system. So these are the successful records. And if there is any failure, we get the failure record as well, and we get the errors. So we got all those reports. I'll try to access once again. If it works. Sometimes its network is very bad, so the workbench. Okay, again it came. Let's go back again, log in. Insert, select the object, choose a file. Next. Just map a field over here. Count name is mapped, industry and phone number. Okay, map fields done. So see, they are showing me the confirmation message again that industry Salesforce field has been mapped with the CSV field. So just click on the records asynchronously. Now, what does asynchronously mean? This is the question in interview can ask. Why we are doing it asynchronously? Because here we are just updating 4 records, right? But in the real-time scenario, if there are 50,000 records or 20,000 records or 10,000 maybe, so the updation will be performed asynchronously. Means that within a batch of 200, the updation would be done in the system. That's why it is a synchronous process, not a synchronous, not it will be done all the way simultaneously, but in the batches way. That's why it is called as asynchronous. So confirm the insert. Oh God, again I'm getting there. So we can just confirm it, and then you can see, like in the Salesforce, I have created these 2 records earlier as well, which I have done it with the help of Workbench. Like today we have done account 1. This is the test 1 and test 2. You will just get the report that it got successfully inserted, and in the Salesforce, just come to the account object and you can see the records. So after means you have inserted some records. Okay, now you want to check it. So how to check 50,000? These are only 2 and I am just doing 4. But how to check 50,000 records? If there are 50,000 records, how to check it? So for that, you can just run a report. You can just go and create a new report in the account object, and with the help of the today's created date filter, you can just create a report and you came to know like these are the records successfully inserted into the system, because we can't do it simultaneously one by one. Okay, so with the help of the report, we can check if the insertion updation has been done successfully or not. So this is the basic concept of data loader or workbench, through which we can quickly insert, update, export, and much more tasks can be performed. Now there is one more small concept which is called as Salesforce Chatter. So what is Chatter exactly in the Salesforce? As you can see over here, if you go to any opportunity, see here we have a Chatter section as well. So what does this Chatter section means? Like amount 40,000, something has been, like what has been performed, like amount 40,000, so this has changed, has been done, or some you want to post something in the chatter, you want to share any update, you want to say something in the chatter, so we can, this chatter can be used in the Salesforce to just provide some extra information. Like Chatter is a Salesforce, a real-time collaboration application that lets your users work together, talk to each other, and share the information. They can share whatever information you want. And suppose you have a task which has been completed, and you want to you want the in the system you want to update, like task has been done for each record, for each user. Suppose you want to update task has been done, so in the chatter you can update it. But if there are thousands of records, then we can do the updation of the chatter with the help of the process builder also, because in the process builder we have a option, right? In the action we have an option also to do the create update the chat. So with the help of process builder we can update the chat. So chatter is basically is an application that lets your users work together, and they can talk to each other, they can share the things, they can share the informations and everything, and you came to know what exactly is going on for that particular objects. Chatter also lets the users collaborate on the sales opportunities. If you got some sales opportunities, some new sales opportunities, so they can collaborate it, service cases. If suppose sometimes what happens, we got some cases and you want, like some cases is not required by the system, and some, so like that, if any condition is there, so you can store those informations in the chatters so that the users came to know like what exactly is happening for that particular case or for that particular opportunities. Or for campaigns also we can do projects and with embedded apps and any other actions which we need to perform. So this is basically the concept of chatter. Okay, one more important small topic which is called as macros. So what is macros in the Salesforce? Macros gives you the power to automate the common repetitive task and resolve the issues with a single click. So when you create a macro, sometimes what happens, like if you want to chat, we want to create a system in the application in which there is a customer care operator who is always available to do the chatting with the users who are basically using your system, right? So those things can be managed by macros. It's a higher level concept, but I'm just telling you the basic things. Like it will give you the power to automate the repetitive task. Repetitive task means suppose you have called someone and your call is ended. Now, macro in that concept, macro schemes, you can do the chatting and all those things while providing some repetitive task in the Salesforce. So when we create a macro by specifying the instructions for actions that the macro performs, a macro is like a little, it's like a computer program. First, you need to enable it in your system, then only you can perform it. So you tell the macro each step that it performs. How to enable it? Create a new Lightning app by Apps Messenger in setup. Macros can easily be created by using the macros utility that is added in the Lightning app. So you can add this utility by just go to setup, apps and app manager. Then the app settings, utility items, configurations, tabs of the Lightning app, click on the add utility and search for macros. Means let's go to app. I don't know if I have set up a macro over here. App manager. Let's go to app manager. Let's select any of the applications. Let's say Sales Console. Okay. Edit. Then we go to utility. I think I haven't. Okay, macros has not been enabled in my org yet, but you guys can enable the macros in your org, and with the help of this, you can perform some automated task, whatever is required with the help of the macros. So after selecting the macros, you can save it and finalize the change. So with the help of macros, we can do that. So this is, I think I have covered everything mostly. Okay, one thing, I guess something is left. Yeah, change set. I'll just okay, I guess everything has been covered.
Thank you all for participating in this event. I want to especially thank each and every one of you for this event who has participated here and learned a lot. Special thanks to Tiwari and sponsors and volunteers who supported me a lot. Thank you once again. Have a great day. Thank you. Bye.